Hi guys, TinaGale here, and one of the ways I am keeping up with 30 videos in July is by using my Pinterest boards. So I went back and I found this sketch by Sketches in Time, and I thought it was really fun, and I've had some photos laid out, so that was one of my other little things, was to have some photos that I wanted to work with, some older, some newer. Um, so I found these two of my kids, decided it was perfect for this sketch, and I'll give you a little heads up. There's also going to be another page that I do using this collection with photos from the same day that will go next to this layout in my albums. So I'll be watching for that later this week as well, probably this weekend. And I'll have another sketch that I picked up off my Pinterest boards as well. So if you want to see that sketch, you can back up and study it. I stayed fairly true to it. I changed up just a little bit on the embellishment up at the top. But the first thing I did was just try to find the horizontal strips. And the way that I decided on what papers to put there was I wanted something darker that was going to ground my photos, because this is going to be the base of all of the design. So it needed to be something heavier. So that dark blue with the little yellow, little, kind of looks like little duck's feet to me. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I thought that was perfect. It's a solid, but yet it has that little pop of yellow in there. And then I decided that the plaid would work well because it kind of brought all of the colors together in the color scheme. But you'll see later that I end up switching it out. I have this washi here with these stars, and it's from the Chamel Little by Little collection. And I pulled it out because I felt like the colors matched pretty well. There were some that wasn't quite so I hadn't quite made up my mind. I pulled it out, looked at it, and went, I don't know, and I put it back on the top of my table, but I will end up switching out that plaid for that washi. Then the next thing was there was 2 blocks of paper behind the photos. And I knew I wanted to bring some more yellow into these photos. My son's wearing a yellow shirt, and other than that, there's not a lot of color in there. So I chose the yellow to go in the background, and then the one that has the 2 of them in the photo, I decided to play off on this star paper. This was when they were putting together a basketball goal, and my son can be a bit bossy, so I captured my daughter's face because she's helping him, but her face just says it all, is that she is really fed up with being his little assistant. So they were quite comical. So I wanted that photo really to be the focus, and I pulled it up on top of the other photo and then put the star paper behind it. So I felt like that really brought it up closer to the front. Then this sketch had 3 little banners coming out from below the photos, and I wanted a little bit of a pop down there as well. Again, because this background's white, it's a very minimalist design. There's not a lot of paper or anything like that, so you can use really bold papers on a sketch like this or a design and it not be overwhelming. So I really wanted to use those on these little banners. So I chose the black with the hearts because they really do love each other. And I decided to pull that plaid in down there because at this point I'm pretty sure I'm going to swap that small narrow strip out for those stars. So I felt like the plaid could go down here well, and then I'm going to repeat that plaid up at the very top. And then that pop of red is going to go in the center. It's the biggest stripe. It's going to be the longest. So really wanted that pop, and then I have that little label die cut that was in the embellishment kit that I'm going to put up at that top cluster, so that's going to repeat that red as well. So now that I've got those cut and I've pretty much decided that it's working, that I'm happy with it, I'm going to start adhering everything down. And you saw on these banner pieces, I decided to take my square punch and try cutting them with that. Normally I don't do that. Normally I just use my scissors. But this time, since I had to do so many and I wanted them really to be close to the same angles, I decided to go ahead and try that. So if you have a square punch, try that sometime. It makes it easy and it's nice. You do have to be careful because you can kind of get it off center. You have to be paying attention. So some of them's not completely perfect, but I feel like they're a lot better than if I had done them just with my scissors. You know, they're a lot closer in the angles and all of that. So That's just a little trick. If you haven't seen that before, you might want to try if you have those. Now I decided to go ahead and pop up these photos along with the backing because this layout, again, because it's very minimalist and there's only 2 photos, there's not a lot going on. I'm not going to build up a lot of clusters or anything. So to just add that little bit of pop, I decided to put the fun foam underneath it to pop it up. So now I have all of that base kind of adhered down. I am going to move the banners slightly over to the right. I got them a little bit too centered. I don't want them completely centered, like that red is completely centered. So I want to move those over a little bit. And once I start putting my title down below, I'll notice that you know, I didn't quite get that where I wanted it, so I'll lift it up and move it. For that top embellishment cluster, I had the plaid and that blue paper that I had just cut down thin. I tore off the ends. Well, no, I didn't. I cut it on this one. One layout I had torn them, but this one I cut. I'm just going to layer them up, and I'm going to put that red label on top of them. And then you can see off to the left there, there's that chipboard little banner piece. So I'm going to use that up at the top too to just add in more dimension. So the collection that I'm working with is Fancy Pants Family and Company, and it was part of April's Flavor of the Month kit from the Scrapbook room. And did you see that? I put my adhesive on the wrong side, so then I was like, oh, can I use it? And it was white with poke, and I was like, nope. So I rub all that adhesive off and fix it. Okay, so anyways, back to the paper kit. It was the Flavors of the Month in April. So if you're interested in that, you could go back and check it out. I'll have the links down below in the video description. But I hadn't got to it and used it because of being in school and everything. So I'm trying to go back and work in some of the kits that I missed out on. Okay, so I've moved my banners over so that I can make room, and I'm trying to decide this bottom cluster. And the embellishments had I had a sheet of the chipboard pieces, so it had these circles that kind of came apart, and I was really wanting to use them. And you're going to see me on this layout and the one that I do along with it, trying to get those circles in, and I just can't make it happen. I really liked that big star because it played off the other stars, and I had pulled out wood veneer stars to finish off my embellishing for this kit and this layout. So I knew I wanted to play up with stars. And that sketch has something, I don't remember what, I think it's a tag or a circle. I'm not sure, I can't remember. I think it was a circle up there. So I decide I want the star. And then for my title, it's all the chipboard pieces, and it says play all day, every day. And I just thought that was kind of real fitting to go ahead and put that all together for a title. And then here is the little wood veneer stars that I had pulled out of my stash. I think they're from Studio Calico, if I'm not sure, or if I'm not mistaken. I'm just going to adhere that down, and then when I get done, I'm really liking it, but it's still just a little bit more simple than what I'm used to. So I decide to take my journaling pen and draw all the way around kind of a wonky line around the outside edge, and I do that quite a bit. And I also did it around some of the paper because if you notice on the star, it has that dark black outline drawn look. So I decided to just play off that and bring that into the rest of the design just to kind of make it all go together. And then I also decided to do just a little bit of splattering, and I don't think I filmed that, but I took my navy Heidi Swap Color Shine and just splattered in the areas, and then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this layout today and you're enjoying the 30 days of videos. I am loving all the comments. Thank you so much for watching and commenting. And I will be back tomorrow with a Throwback Thursday, and it's going to be throwing back all the way to my very first layout and kind of my first album. So if you want to see the beginnings, then come back tomorrow. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.